Right, boys?
Sadly starting because we've done loads, haven't we?
Well, this is a bit of a different
approach to stuff.
Because we're filming the intro after we've done all the work. But that's just because
we're idiots and we don't know how much
we
we
didn't
can
know
do.
how much we were going to get done, but we managed to get a bit more done than we thought.
We've been busy this week, haven't we, really? A lot of painting, a lot of prep, a lot of, you know, it might not seem like we've got very far, but we have got really far. We've had a few updates. We get the stuff from the powder coaters back this week, hopefully. Got the brakes back. We'll show you them in the next episode. We've got the torque settings now that our mate Stokes is going to sort out.
No, because you'll be spoiled. You don't lift up because that's spoiling them in the episode.
We're not sponsored.
We're not sponsored, but this is our mucker.
He's been keeping us warm this week. It's been cold. But,
also, we've hit 5,000 subscribers, and we'd like to say thank you to each and every single one of you that have subscribed and stuck with us. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Now, on to 10,000.
Yeah, so get liking, get subscribing.
Like, follow, share and subscribe.
You can go and see what we've been doing.
Yeah, so
let's get into it.
Yeah.
Boom. Got a little question, ain't you?
Yeah, I think I asked it in the last episode, but why is this like funnel, nozzle, whatever, for the fuel tank? Why does it look like it's copper there? Look like it's zinc there?
Well, like brass.
I think, yeah, I mean, some of the stuff has been brazed, which makes me think like, but it wouldn't be brazed like that, would it?
And it won't
and it's rusting as well.
Yeah. Is it? It must be a coating, mustn't it?
But what have they done? Coated copper with brazing on top of steel? I don't know.
Let us know in the comments. It's boggling our mind, and all we can think it's literally a coating.
And tell me why. I did think I mentioned this, but why is this kinked, but this is
like bent? I said, I think they've kinked that because it may help the bend, but that don't explain that. Or is it because if you have an accident, that's like a crumply zone for the pipe? I don't know.
Maybe.
Because the fuel tank's at the back of the car?
No idea. Someone tell me. Stokes has just got a little bit ahead of himself here. Should have shown you us taking it apart. But we've been dismantling the diff because one of the seals has gone inside. Well, on the outside.
It looks like, see all that's all gunky and that's distorted.
So he was leaking a little bit of oil out of
where this side was nice and dry as a bone and isn't distorted. So obviously that's where your kind of the input shaft for your drive shaft for the rear diff go in there. Obviously we've took the rear diff out, you take these end caps off which go there, and then we've slid the rear diff, because obviously they're the bearings and everything, they sit in them cups there, and then these shafts slide inside that and lock into that. They just hammer out, but obviously the diff, when we took it off, was completely covered in oil, so it had a leak either from the back case, one of these seals, which it looked like this one, so we didn't want to go and paint it all up knowing that there is a problem. It could have been just the back plate, but when I took the back plate off, it seemed quite sealed, so it's looking like this one, but we're going to change these two and we're going to change that front one there, which comes off the prop shaft. So we're going to tap them out now, and we're going to get, it's like a metal, and then it's obviously got the seal, the rubber seal, and the little like a little springy kind of thing to pull that down onto that, and then that sits there and seals it all. Anyway,
it's another job to do, isn't it?
And once we've got these out, we can paint this, because that's steel, we're going to paint that black, and the back plate's off in the parts wash, you're just cleaning it out. That's been aqua blasted, so we can lacquer that. So when we reassemble this, it's all going to be nice and new, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Bearings look good. There was a lot of oil in it, which is a good sign. Smells like gearbox oil. Doesn't stink like burning melting metal. So I think we're all good. And apparently, I think this is a torsion diff. Got all these little weird gears in it. It's quite, like Jack said, he's never seen a diff before, have you, mate? He's quite intrigued by it.
I think the only time I've ever seen one, I swear it was on Wheeler Dealers or something, and who's the little mechanic on that? I think he was taking one apart.
Nothing wrong with little mechanics. I ain't even a mechanic, so I'm just little. Well, I've got Dave, Busy Bee. On grinder. He's cleaning up the little rusty areas, right? He's showing you a bit, isn't he? So rusty areas cleaning up.
Yeah, what I'm doing is the rusty areas, I'm going to clean it all off. I ain't going mad, it doesn't have to be spotless, but I'm getting the surface rust off, because by the looks of it, that is actually all it is just surface rust. Surface rust.
Yeah, a little bit like up there.
Around there. I ain't got to there yet, mate. I was just doing down here, because, you know, but we haven't found no holes, we haven't found no stuff that you can poke through or anything, so yeah. And pretty solid, you know.
And then we're going to treat these areas up.
Yeah.
And then the hole underneath, I think we're raptoring.
Why we're raptoring? We haven't discussed this.
I bought it, mate.
We want it originally done.
I've got it. I bought it. Anyway, Jack's on the conveyor belt of spraying this, and he's sorting all the bits out because I'm starting to put the engine back together because we've got loads of parts everywhere, haven't we, Jack? Yep. So I figured if I put some on the engine, we'd clear some parts out the way, ready for a new batch of parts. So we're going to crack on. So yeah, literally we're going to get this back together now. I've got a full gasket kit, so wherever there's a new gasket needs to go on, I'm putting it on. Wherever there's a new seal, I'm putting a new seal in. This is the original oil pump. We had good oil pressure. I mean, at the end of the day, how far do you go with this engine? We've already gone further than we thought we would anyway. So yeah, I'm going to start cobbling this together.
You're really saying how far did we go with this then?
Yeah, but how far? You could buy a new oil pump, but
you could buy a new block.
I know. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying to you. You could keep going. There eventually.
Yeah, but so don't you normally change your oil pump if you're changing everything else? You really skimped out on like 35 quid.
It's not 35
Go on.
quid, mate. I don't.
Hit me.
Well, it's
hit me.
That.
Hit me. Hit me with it.
I don't know how much.
You know how much it is. You would have weighed it up.
Spent 250 on Raptor paint. So
But Raptor paint didn't even come from factory.
I'm sorry, Mr. Toyota. I'll ring Toyota up next time.
But I already know, because I'm talking to him. So I know what original tyres have been changed here.
Yeah, on that gasket, I cleaned all the old gasket off because we don't want to use old gaskets as we've got new gaskets set. And I've just literally put the lightest smearing sealant on it. So we shouldn't get any problems.
we've had to switch to the. Hold on, I don't know where the microphone is on an iPhone, but we've had to switch to.
He's had to switch to his phone because we ran out of battery on the GoPros.
Look how keen he is.
Right.
Why don't you just won't.
Who sprayed this? Just a bit there.
Just to get the bottom.
What's happened to the camera now? The lens is dirty.
No, I don't know. I've cleaned it all out. It's just steamed up for some reason.
So you might see the rest of it.
On iPhone, basically.
Yeah. And if it works out well, I suppose we'll do it
sell
all
the
on our
cameras
phone.
and GoPros and we'll start setting iPhones up. We could actually sell the GoPros and the camera and probably go and buy 10 iPhone 11s and have them just set up everywhere.
I've heard, I know, because it was you, I know Whistling Diesel used to use just iPhones, didn't he?
A lot know what it is now.
Why name dropping?
in case he watches.
A lot of YouTubers do use phones, but they also have the cameras.
Yeah.
I will say though,
So they'll use it, like if they go out, they'll film in the car on the iPhone. If they're doing bits and bobs, like, they need like decent footage.
from the little bit I've kind of looked into it, for the money, you can't beat that quality on an iPhone, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So if you just wanted to film, this would be a good place to start. Look, does it look good? You can see it switching between the two cameras.
Well, isn't that fully HD?
4K, mate. It's better,
4K,
it's
there you
better
go.
than that camera.
Is that 13?
I
Got a new one?
I think it's an 11.
Oh, you got 11?
Yeah.
Still on the 11, bro. Right, because you're a keen bean, I'll have to explain. So you just fitted the lovely water pump. He doesn't want to do YouTube no more. He just keeps telling everyone he's a doer. I'm a doer, I just get things done. It's only because he has to go in 10 minutes to go and cook HelloFresh.
Not sponsored by him yet. No, some people are sponsored by HelloFresh.
So wire wheeled all the rust off. Majority of the surface rust. There's been no deep rust, has there?
No, to be honest, just where the rear subframes we sit in, obviously waters, we
Yeah.
sit in those areas. That tends to be the worst. And you cut bits here, bits there.
So after
Nothing
we've
major.
done that, what have you put on it, Jack? Rust
Yeah,
treatment.
just rust treatment. To be honest, it's probably a bit overkill, but...
Better safe than sorry, innit? Proper job.
And then once we've done this, this needs 24 hours to go off. We're going to stone chip all the areas where we've wire wheeled off. And then Stokes, obviously, he's already mentioned, he's getting that wrapped stuff.
Right, this is the gasket.
Genuine head gasket.
Genuine.
Uprated.
Uprated, layered. For them 3 layers, you ain't getting through that, mate. 4 layers, you ain't getting through that. It's like, no, when you wrap up at winter, cold does not get in.
And I presume the arrow faces,
Clockwise.
no, to the camber end. Because you can't get it the wrong. Some gaskets you can get the wrong way around or upside down, but.
Remember when we used to have a laugh on this channel?
Oh, I'm just saying, you saying it fits and it don't.
People are asking what's up with me. The fun's been taken out of it. It's all right, ladies and gents. He's got some home life stresses.
Where's the thingy on that?
The dog.
Oh,
Did you not want to get this polished up or nothing?
Be gentle.
yeah, you got to come round.
No, I don't want me to come round, mate. I can't.
Ooh, satisfying.
Oh, a little dump then, didn't it?
No, we haven't got the torque settings just yet.
We are going to talk. Are you sure you want to put these in just now?
Well, I'm going to just hand tighten them down.
Okay.
And then there's a certain
And then
order
we're
and a
gonna grab the
certain
torque. We've
torque.
got torque bits there.
Give me
You just talk.
Yeah, I know.
Talk them down with your hands. And the
Talks the
original.
talk, but does he walk the walk?
You have to use the original.
Course I do, mate. Course I
You
do.
have to use the original. There's little like washers, but you have to put them in first because they don't fit in else. They won't go in on the bolt. If you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so as you can see, we spent 5 million hours masking it up. So fingers crossed. The paint goes on the bottom and not everywhere else. So, Raptor paint. I'll just quickly explain what we're kind of doing. We've bought tintable. This is a tintable paint, so you add your paint to this, which is about 100 mils a litre, isn't it, Dave? That's what the woman told you in the place. And then you have to mix all that together, do all that. But before that, I've looked into it, this anti-corrosion epoxy primer. That's what they recommend to use before you put the Raptor on. So this stuff seals everything and then gives it a good, obviously, base for the Raptor to kind of stick to. You need a gun for your bottles. The epoxy primer has to be put on with a normal paint gun. And then that's the tintable stuff which is going underneath, because we're going to do it like the Magnolia. And then that's the black which you're going to do on the inner arches, because the inner arches are black. So yeah, we should have all our stuff. And this is our bit of paint what we've got mixed up to tint the tintable wrap. You don't have to do tintable wrap, you can do it in all sorts of colours. But that's how
Magnolia
we're going to get it to that.
You have to excuse the camera again because it looks like
it's playing up. So yeah, now we're going to get this epoxy primer. Is it epoxy? What is it? Epoxy primer?
Yeah.
So we're going to paint everywhere with this now. Well, try to.
Better not do epoxy job. We've just had our first attempt to trying to spray the epoxy primer. The gun that we were using hasn't been cleaned out very well. No, was not cleaned out last time. So there's a load of crap in there. So guess what? We're off to machine mark. Tweedledee, tweedledum.
Take two.
So, in the little manual what I've downloaded, which someone kindly sent me on the Celica page, you've got obviously 15 newton meters torque, then 90 degrees. So you can go 90, but they said look, mark the head bolt so you know that's in the 12 o'clock position, and then obviously 90 degrees going to finish at 3 o'clock. Is that right, Jack? Mm-hmm. So you've got the painted mark on. It's just an extra little, you know.
Yeah, and it's 49 newton meters before anyone comes out.
Oh, sorry.
Before anyone comes at us. We do know.
No, 49 newton meters the head bolt, then 90 degrees. Obviously, and then in the sequence.
We've got the base coat on now. Stokes has been a bit hard at work spraying all that for us. It's looking really good, to be fair.
I might just leave the base coat, mate.
It's good. I mean, the colour obviously from factory was like a magnolia colour, which we are going to go back to. But, you know, if you wasn't going for factory, that wouldn't be a bad colour to leave it, would it?
No, grey car, grey underbody, you know.
Not too bad. The bad news is, not really bad news, but we can't put on the actual main coat today because this is going to take a few hours to go off and we've kind of run out of time. So
if it was a bit warmer,
yeah, it says 2 to 4 hours if it's 20 degrees, and you can probably see from my breath that it's not 20 degrees.
we have had the space heater on as well, but
we don't want to rush it. After we've come this far, we don't want to rush it. So we're going to let that go off properly, and then we're going to put the main.
Your eyes are lovely blue.
It's this light, I'm telling you. We're going to put the top coat on Monday, Tuesday, something like that. Although the World Cup starts Monday, so
yeah.
But we are going to then put black all inside the inner arches as well, just so it looks original factory, and it will look a lot better once all the wheels and everything are back on.
Yeah.
You don't want magnolia when you're looking through. As you've probably seen as well, we put the head back on the engine, the water pump.
It's covered back up there.
Yeah. Terry's sponsored the engine, so we've covered it back up, but talked everything up. We just thought we'd get that done while this was drying, but There's still a long way to go on the engine as well, getting that back together. But thankfully, we've made a load of progress with the paint, with the cleaning, you know, sanding them, you know.
Like, I'm looking at this now, as Jack is, and Dave was he's buggered off German market or something. He's gone to drink beer. But when you get to that stage like that, you think it's worth all the hard work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All the prep.
You've probably been able to tell, but we've actually been on this like pretty much the whole week doing bits and bobs. It's slow going, but this is like rewarding when you get to this point. Everything's looking mint. It all goes back together nice. Yeah. Hopefully in the coming weeks you'll see a lot more progress as well.
So what are you going to say then?
Like and subscribe. We've already said this once at the beginning of the video, so I hope you've already done it.
Because we're at the 5,000 now, we're just over, aren't we?
We need to double that.
And that is all you guys, you know what I mean? That ain't us, that's you guys following us, liking us and subscribing.
We do really appreciate it.
We do.
So carry on watching. You'll see some more progress on this. There will be some other stuff in the future going forward as well.
But we're cracking on with this, aren't we?
We're going to get this done for Christmas. That's the...
Santa's going to be riding around it, delivering his little parcels.
So if we can, we will.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll see you next week in the next episode.
Ta-da.
Ta-da.